this fight.
It was worth it from Gunner.
Sort of opening on this. Lars watching from the high ground. They get the telekinesis onto Gunner. Spirit, I think they're going to start bailing out this one pretty quickly.
Redon's here.
He is turning up to try and burst through Yuma. He gets the stun in on towards him. Yuma,
big epi.
turns from the side, copies him with the jump, the epi and the bar strike. They've killed off the three, they've killed off the four of them, and now collapse. He's going to try for the TP out, but the Spirit, it's there for Gunner. Nouns, they'll take this series 2-0 today against Team Spirit, knocking Spirit down to the lower bracket. Nouns, they're going straight up to the upper bracket.
RP onto Duraccio, but the disruption, will it be enough to save him though? He's surrounded by enemies right now. Ace with the Pit of Malice from the side. Duraccio trying to run away, slow to a crawl. He's going to use Laguna Blade. There's the epicenter from Quinn, destroying everybody from G2IG. And that's it. That's game one in the books. Gaming Gladiators slap around Jack Chen. Hey, the long zip from Quinn. Power shot from Duraccio from afar in the whirlwind to follow, but a nice fissure. The arrow's going to connect onto Quinn, but a shackle shot connects onto two. Oh no! What a disaster for G2IG. The Lina is lost. Quinn finds JT. Ooh, the cancellation of the teleportation into the shackle shot. They don't really do that much damage to him because Kunkka's very tanky these days. Finally, some reinforcements. Tofu, okay, you can see the demonic purge onto JT, so no Crimson or anything of that nature for him. Finally will drop as more heroes are just dropping like flies from G2IG.
The road to the international continues here in Copenhagen, Denmark. We've got our third day of playoffs here. All the seeding matches decided. Now we look towards the upper bracket. I'm going to be your host, Nat T, and help me through the morning, at least for today, is going to be Fia, Winter, and Jenkins. Winter, we're going to go in the middle this time around. You know, I like to change it up every day. But how are you for today?
I'm good. You know, can't wait for even more exciting Dota. I like how we ended yesterday with the Gladiators game, you know. The game was pretty exciting. I mean, they came out on top the last game. And hopefully we see some more exciting games like those.
Yeah, everyone thought yesterday was going to be pretty clear-cut on who was going to get 2-0 and who was going to go through. But Jenkins, it was not that clear by any means.
No, it's not been clear at all. Even in the series that we did see it go in the direction that was expected. You know, everybody expected Gaiman to beat G2XIG, for example. Still, it was a 2-1, which I think a lot of people wouldn't have expected. Nouns 2-0'd Spirit. That's the big one that I want to talk about. How did they do? This is the two-time TI champions that just went down to. Are they the biggest underdog, or would you say maybe Talon is more of an underdog than Nouns?
Talon is probably slightly more.
It's hard to say, I think, but I think Nouns in general, they showed last year as well. They really turned it up at TI. Like they got like a 7th, 8th finish, I think, last year after pretty much only qualifying for one major and not looking good throughout the entire year. But something about the TI magic when it comes to some of these teams, even the NA teams in particular, that don't get a shot, they seem to do really well. And Nouns, they're kind of on par with how they were playing last year at TI specifically. So maybe overperforming a little bit just by taking out Spirit. But we all know Spirit is one of those teams that they can turn it up when they need to. And then also when they're in the slump, they kind of look like they're definitely in a slump right now. So a little worried about Spirit and how they're doing. But Nouns, I think they're at peak performance right now.
I also think it's very specifically Nouns getting chosen by the reigning TI champions. There's something that's what happened.
NA.
Yeah, that happened last year, right? Tundra, they won TI 11 and TI 12. They picked them. They also got O2'd by Nouns. Spirit won TI 12 last year. Now here in TI 13, they picked Nouns. It's not an easy best of 3, despite what people might think on paper. So this is how our group stage and the start of playoffs happened. Our seeding matches went over 2 days. It was 4 best of 3s to make a grand total of 8. And does give us this very beautiful bracket right here with some of our teams in the upper bracket, some in the lower bracket. Obviously, Spirit being the biggest shock of the lower bracket, but any other teams or matchups in that lower bracket that could have some question marks around it, Winter?
I mean, nobody wants to play Spirit in the lower bracket.
No.
Yeah, poor G2IG on that.
I feel bad
that's
for
a bad dice roll.
G2IG. They play like a really difficult first series. They lost to the Gladiators. It was a close match. And now they have to play Spirit, you know.
Yeah, you had to go up against TI 12 runner-ups, and you lost to them, and now you have to go up against TI 12 winners in the lower bracket.
Really not a good,
Like, that is maybe the
not a
unluckiest.
good roll of the dice.
That is the unluckiest playoffs bracket. But you're going to have to come up against a lot of these teams anyway if you want to make a good run for yourself. One of the biggest key contributors, I feel, for Nouns as to how they went so well was the heroes they were able to get for themselves. They had really strong openers. And yesterday brought a lot of questions about what heroes we wanted to see more of, which ones were underperforming. I know that Doom had a bit of a rough one, and someone who loves stats, loves giving us more information. Purge, break it all down for us with these heroes and what's happening at the road to the International.
Thanks, Nat. Yeah, top band heroes I think are really interesting right now because what usually ends up happening is at the start of the tournament, people discover these are the most OP heroes. And us as spectators, when the draft starts, I just kind of like glaze my eyes over the first phase bans a little bit because they're like, oh, there's the normal guys that we normally see. So I want to look at a couple of them. These are some of the top banned heroes of the tournament so far. Naga Siren, 9 picks, 56 bans. Shadow Demon, 13 picks, 52 bans. Nature's Prophet, heavily banned. Omni, heavily banned. These are heroes that we basically don't see in many games, and I want to just remind you guys why they are like that. It's important because there will be games as the tournament continues where teams are like, we can't do the way that it's working, so we're just going to let some of these through. So some quick reminders here. Naga Siren, very strong in the laning stage because you can contest all these pulls with just illusions. Normally you have to put your life on the line or gold on the line to block these camps or interrupt these pulls. He just gets to do it with illusions. And the big one is his Song of the Siren ultimate. Watch how many spells get committed to killing Ame here that don't succeed. We have Monkey King and Lion rotating across the whole map with a smoke, a Finger of Death, Wukong's command, and he just presses his ultimate. Ame disengages. Ame does die immediately after this clip. But and here's the other hero that I think is really interesting to highlight is Shadow Demon. There's a lot of items that are really useful right now, namely Solar Crest. It gives you HP, movement speed. Well, Demonic Purge, the Shadow Demon